The headlines today, special investigation. We told you we'd stay with the story, and here is part two. Headlines today had on Tuesday named the main beneficiaries of Maharashtra's drought, the man-made drought. They were none other than sugar barons close to Ajit Pawar. But today we bring you another big expose. The meeting that decided to divert water first to industry, leaving large parts of the Solapur-Pune region dry, was attended by NCP Chief and Union Agriculture Minister Sharad Pawar. This meeting, which practically condemned large parts of Maharashtra to its worst drought, was kept top secret. But Headlines today's Pankaj Khelkar has been able to dig out its exclusive details, and they are here in this report.
In drought-hit Maharashtra, two pictures of misery. On one, a river canal flush with water. On the other, lakhs of hectares of farmland dead from the want of it. And Headlines today can now tell you it is not just Ajit Pawar who is responsible for this plight. It is also his uncle and Agriculture Minister Sharad Pawar who condemned the Solapur-Pune region to this fate. To unravel the conspiracy, Headlines today takes you back to a meeting on the 16th of October last year. Watch these pictures carefully. A meeting where every attempt is made to keep the discussions under wraps.
Sir, आजच्या मीटिंग व्हायला एक सासू नो कॉमेंट बरं दिसत नाही ती खाजगी
And most suspiciously, the attendance of arguably Maharashtra's most powerful politician.
दादाची फोटो कुठे काढले आमच्या साहेबाचे फोटो असतील सगळे फोटो.
This secret meeting of October 16th was meant to review the water levels of Ujjani Dam. It was allegedly decided in this meeting that there was enough water in the dam to release into River Sinna, but not enough to release into the Bhima Basin. What was left unsaid was that the banks of River Sinna have no less than 5 sugar mills run by the NCP's sugar barons. It is the NCP's partner at the state which has let the cat out of the bag.
सर पानी छोड़ दिया था, जितना पानी छोड़ने की जरूरत नहीं, जितना चाहिए उतना पानी छोड़ना चाहिए था, लेकिन वहाँ ज्यादा पानी छोड़ दिया. किसके लिए? वो बबन दादा आमदार यहाँ के एमएलए, उसने ज्यादा पानी छोड़ने को मजबूर किया.
जो लोग उसका विरोध कर रहे हैं, कहीं ना कहीं महाराष्ट्र जो एक नंबर पे इंडस्ट्री में है वो पिछड़ जाए, पड़ोसी राज्य को फायदा मिले, इसलिए कुछ लोग इस तरह का प्रोपेगेंडा कर रहे हैं.
Between 3rd of January and 27th January, water was released to Sinna River from Ujjani Dam, which the sugar mills in that region lifted. The farmers along the Sinna River could not do the same as there was no electricity. The sugar mills in the region ensured that they had enough water to run their water-intensive mills, even as the rest of the region and farmers thirst for every drop of water. With bureau inputs from Solapur, this is Pankaj Khelkar in Pune for Headlines today.
So far, Sharad Pawar, not surprisingly, has not commented on his nephew's ugly taunt to a fasting activist for release of Ujjani Dam's water. But now it seems the NCP Supremo was complicit in the decision to favor industry over farmers, being the Agriculture Minister, incidentally. In fact, Headlines today conducted a spot check to test the veracity of Ajit Pawar's claim that Ujjani Dam has no water. We now dismantle the second Pawar lie.
पुढच्या काळामध्ये अशा पद्धतीचा प्रसंग उद्भवला तर रामाच्या सगळ्या ज्या आमदारांनी मला विधिमंडळाचा नेता केलेला आहे त्यांना विश्वासात घेऊनच निर्णय त्या ठिकाणी घेतला जाईल.
A poor joke by the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra could cost him his job. But that is not the only reason for Pawar's willingness to quit just months after being reinstated.
आजाद मैदान पे हम 65 दिन हो गए हमारा आंदोलन चालू है और ये आंदोलन की मांग है सोलापुर जिले के उजनी धरण में पुणे जिले का भामासखेड़ा और 16 डैम का कौन सा भी डैम का पानी उजनी धरण पे छोड़ के
55 दिवस झाले आझाद मैदानावर उपोषणाला बसलाय. कोण देशमुख का कोणतरी हा बसलाय ना. पाणी सुटलं. पाणीच नाही तर काय सोडता काय मुद्दा का तिथं.
Apart from the crass humor, Headlines Today now has proof that the Deputy Chief Minister was economical with the truth. Ujjani Dam has water in it.
Right now I am inside Ujjani Dam next to the canal gates, and here you can see two local swimmers who are trying to tell us how much water is there in the canal, near the canal gate. आप बताइए कि कितना पानी है. वहाँ पर कितना पानी है? 3 मीटर रहेगा अंदर आके. So here you can see that the water next to the canal gate is almost 2 meters, and near the canal gate it's 1.25 meters. So as of now water can be released.
If there was water, where did it go? It went to the canal that feeds water into the sugar mills of Ajit Pawar's key lieutenants.
Deputy CM of Maharashtra Ajit Pawar had expressed his helplessness for not being able to release water in the canal because he said that there is no water left in Ujjani Dam. But here you can see there is ample water, and that's what is being claimed by local leaders, that there is almost 60 TMC water out of 170 TMC that is being left in this Ujjani Dam. And so the claim of Deputy CM is false, is bogus.
ये राजनीति खेल रहा है अजित पवार. हाँ, सोलापुर जिले में पानी छोड़ने के लिए निर्णय लिया है, लेकिन ये पूरा गलत है.
कृषि मंत्री ने यहाँ के स्थानीय अधिकारी और लोग यहाँ के नेता की मीटिंग ली. जब पानी छोड़ रहे थे उस पानी को बंद कर दिया गया.
कहाँ पे छोड़ रहे थे?
पानी कैनाल में छोड़ रहे थे. तब पानी उसके बाद में वो मीटिंग के बाद पानी बंद हो गया, और जनवरी में यहाँ की डिमांड बढ़ाई कि सीना के लोगों को पानी चाहिए. वो पानी छोड़ने के लिए ये इन नेताओं ने सरकार को मजबूर किया. ऐसा दिखा के आप जो कैनाल देख रहे हैं, इस कैनाल से पानी सीना में लेके गए.
With Pankaj Khelkar in Solapur, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
So, well, it turns out that Mr. Ajit Pawar doesn't even have to urinate in the Ujjani Dam to try and create water. There is plenty of water already over there. Let's expose for you in detail. Let's get you exactly how the NCP has been fooling people into thinking that there is no water to go around. Well, there is plenty of water as far as the concerns of NCP men, MLAs, ministers, former ministers, members of parliament is concerned. So what really happened? This here is the Ujjani Dam, and it has plenty of water, but what was done was that instead of taking out water into the Bhima River Canal, the water in fact was sent towards the Sina River. And why was it given into this area? Because along the Sina River basin, there are a number of distilleries and sugar mills, and no surprises, these distilleries belong to people who are affiliated to the NCP, the same party to which the Agriculture Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, both of them belong. So this is how that entire fraud was perpetrated. The Ujjani Dam has water, but it is given only to the Sina River area, only to benefit these establishments belonging to NCP ministers so that they get more than their share of water. This is how exactly it happened. In fact, we've got my colleagues through now from Mumbai, from Pune. We'll ask them about exactly what went on that secret day, secret meeting on the 16th of October. It is Pankaj Khelkar, in fact, who has access details, those pictures, those bites from after that meeting, despite the best efforts of NCP leaders. He joins us now. Pankaj Khelkar is with us. Also with us is Mumbai Bureau Chief Sahil Joshi. Joining us also is Headlines Today's political editor Javed Ansari, and prominent activists from Maharashtra, Anjali Damania, who had come out in the past also and spoken about how Ajit Pawar and company were depriving farmers of what was their due. But I want to ask you first, Pankaj, of your experience in trying to piece together this story, because from the details that you have sent, the NCP tried its best to ensure that the story of October 16 never got out.
Yeah, Padmaja, here it seems that NCP had tried that the story will not get out. The 16th October meeting won't come to media, and that's what was tried by the Guardian Minister of Solapur when the reporters asked him, Lakshman Rao Dhoble, what was the discussion inside, and he said, sorry, I can't comment because it is Sahib's private meeting. Sahib means Sharad Pawar. Everyone in Maharashtra refers Mr. Sharad Pawar as Sahib. So he had expressed his helplessness. The other person, Deputy Irrigation Executive Engineer, Mr. Nimbalkar, when the reporter spoke with him, he said, now tell me who have clicked the pictures of Sahib, just return those pictures to me. And the other then he said, yeah, I can give you something about the meeting. There was discussion in the meeting, but it was discussion about the water level, and the water can be released. The outcome of the meeting is the water can be released, but only for drinking. Now the question here arises that if the water was released for drinking purpose in Sina River, why did the sugar mills and distilleries withdrew water from that river? And at the same time, from 3rd of Jan to 20th of Jan, the electricity was cut off. So the farmers, the administration made it sure that the farmers could not pump the water to their farm, and on the papers it was written that the water was only for drinking, so the farmers could not pump the water for their farm.
All right, Pankaj, just stay on with us. Before I get in Sahil Joshi as well, I want to take the first reaction from Anjali Damania. Anjali, Mr. Ajit Pawar said there is no water, but apparently there is plenty of water, but only for his men, not for the farmers. Your reaction first to the stories.
Yeah. See, on the day one itself, after the crass comment of Mr. Ajit Pawar, we were the first ones to tell you that it was just not the crass comment, but the comment itself was a big, big lie. There is enough water. On day one, I said that there is enough water to be left in Ujjaini, especially from dams like Bhama Asket, from Neera Devghar, from Bhatgar, from Pauna. So there were enough dams from where water could be released, but there was no will. Now, if you look at the number of factories, this diagram also, we had put it up on the FB on day one, that there are these 4 sugar factories, out of which 2 are private, 2 are cooperative, and just because the NCP and the Congress MLAs own it, this water was released only to Sina and not to Bhima. What we were trying to say is, in the central part, if you see your map, the central part is the main area of concern, where there is a small canal which supplies water to 85 wells. From that, the water could go to 40 different villages, but there is just no will. Now let us understand the reason why. Because there are about 209 sugar factories in Maharashtra, out of which 44 are privately owned by people in the cabinet. 13 out of 30 cabinet ministers own sugar factories, and this is where the water is going. So what drought are we talking about? The entire water is getting siphoned off only and only to these places.
Sahil, in fact, this is something that everyone has been saying. Everyone who knows anything about agriculture in Maharashtra, that this is a man-made drought. And the fact that we put out today only underline that fact, given what Mr. Ajit Pawar had said, that if people think I have said or done anything wrong, I'm willing to step down. Isn't this a good time? Sahil, if you can hear me, isn't there a clear violation of rules on the part of Mr. Ajit Pawar? What he and his ministers and his cohorts have done in that meeting of October 16, doesn't it at least warrant him stepping down?
Absolutely. In fact, Padmaja, today our correspondent Kamlesh Sutar tried to pose this question to Mr. Sharad Pawar, but he refused to answer. In fact, Sharad Pawar's daughter, Supriya Sule, who comes from the very adjacent district of Solapur, she also said that media should mind their own business. But if we go into this question, there is a politics involved in this, because Solapur district has been represented in the parliament by 2 of the very senior ministers. One is Sushil Kumar Shinde and another is Sharad Pawar. Sharad Pawar's own constituency comes from the Solapur district. And that's why it was pretty surprising for the people of Solapur that why Sharad Pawar is getting involved like this in this particular controversy. Now, as far as this Ujjaini dam is concerned, what Anjali was saying just a while back, this time, surprisingly, despite the drought situation in Solapur district, 1,48,000 of sugarcane has been sent for the crushing, and the crushing season ended in January when the water was released from 3rd of January to 27th of January. So it clearly we can take out inference that the water which was released was used by the sugar factories, because this time it was a record that 1,48,000 sugarcane was sent for crushing during the crushing season of the sugar factories. And these sugar factories are controlled and owned by the people who are related to NCP, also to the Congress. But out of 5, the 4 sugar factories are either controlled by NCP MLA or owned by the NCP MLA. So basically, to help the sugar barons, to help the sugar factories, this particular water was released, and the water was stopped on 16th of October. The reason was given that the water period, which is of the 15-day period, is over, and because of that the water release has been stopped. But after 2 months, the water was released in Bhima-Shina connecting tunnel, saying that this water will be used for the drinking purposes. But because, as Pankaj was saying, that because the electricity was cut, the normal people, the normal farmers could not take out the water. In fact, the sugar factories easily could take out water, and not a single complaint has been registered in the police station.
At its worst, Javed, Mr. Sharad Pawar is the agriculture minister. One would expect him to bat for the farmers who look to him for justice. But when stories like these come out, what does Mr. Pawar's office have to say in his defense? Because it's not that he's turning a blind eye to what his dear nephew is doing in Maharashtra. He is colluding in it, what the October 16 meeting has proven.
Look, Padmaja, for one, Mr. Pawar is not in Delhi. I'm standing outside his residence. I've been here for a bit. He's not here. He's somewhere in Maharashtra, like my colleague Sahil Joshi just said. His office feigns ignorance. They say they have very little knowledge of this, and therefore it would be best left to either Mr. Pawar or Mr. Ajit Pawar to answer this. We have no way of getting through to Mr. Pawar. He's not here. We've tried. Left a message, but since Mr. Pawar is not here, there are very few people in his office who are even willing to come online and speak on this.
Well, his office is quiet in Delhi. Mr. Pawar himself is telling reporters to mind their own business in Maharashtra. But Pankaj Khelkar, I want to bring your attention now to the other part of the story, the Ujni Dam. Let's focus on that for a while now. According to Mr. Ajit Pawar, there's no water. It's bone dry, the Ujni Dam. There is no water to send out at all. But people that you got to the spot confirmed how there is plenty of water. Water is swilling around in that dam. Tell us exactly what you found when you went inside the dam premises.
Padmaja, the people who took us there were themselves Congress people. The ZP former president, Mr. Sanjay Patil, he took us there and he showed us that there is water there, 6 TMC water that can be released in the canal section. There are 3 outlets to Ujni. One goes in the river, the other goes in the canal, and the third one goes to Bhima-Sina canal. So there is water. We also saw the swimmers who got down there. They also told us that there is water, but it being like second week of April, why the water is not released now? Because the water that was already there, the ample water, was released in the other side of the dam, that is Bhima-Sina canal. And so Ajit Pawar, Deputy CM, whatever he is saying that there is no water, itself clarifies that there is water, but due to some politics and due to some other vested interests, that clearly show that there are 5 sugar factories, distilleries on other side, that is the border of Marathwada, and it comes under economically backward zone. So there are other benefits. Those sugar factories, like they are being established on that side of Sina, like basin, because these factories get benefit.
But Anjali Damania, tell us this. We've exposed the facts. Now the facts are out there. There is a political game being played. There's no doubt about that. What could be the next step to ensure that the farmers get what is due to them?
That water should be released from the dams.
Anjali, if you could answer that question.
Water goes from, like there are 20.
Sorry. Anjali, if you could hear me, we've exposed the facts, and the truth is that there is water in the Ujni Dam which can be given to the farmers if the government so pleases. In light of what we know now, what can be done next by the government, and who will do it?
No, the main concern is that the 3 key portfolios, that is irrigation, the police department, the entire thing is with NCP. Now, how do we fight the system? The first and foremost thing that needs to be done is we have to demand the resignation of Mr. Ajit Pawar, because not just in the Western Maharashtra, he has played the same game even in Vidarbha. The water from Vidarbha was completely, the water which was directed, the dams which were made under the AIBP scheme was overnight transferred to 27 power companies. So where is all the, if the water has to go only to industries, where does the water to farmers go? I mean, from where do we get water? If the entire, all the rivers flow to Baramati, all the canals flow to Baramati, I have traveled across Maharashtra, even in a remote area like Karmala, which is near Pandharpur.
In fact,
there is a small dam called
in fact,
Kukri.
Anjali, I'm
From
sorry,
there
I'm
also the
sorry
dam.
to interrupt, because now we've got the spokesperson of the NCP live with us now, Mr. Mahesh Tapse. We have a lot of questions to ask you, Mr. Mahesh Tapse, but if you've seen our report, we've got details of what happened in a meeting on October 16 in Pune, where a meeting was held attended by the Agriculture Minister, Mr. Sharad Pawar. It was decided that water would be diverted to industries instead of farmers. All of this is happening with the collusion of the government. Why should Mr. Ajit Pawar not resign?
Hello.
Mr. Tapse, can you hear me, sir?
I can't hear what you're saying.
Mr. Tapse, let me make a final attempt. If you can hear me clearly now, we've got facts on record. We've got proof to show that water, instead of being given to the farmers from the Ujni Dam, was sent down the Sina Canal only to benefit the sugar factories which are along that route. Don't you think there's been a direct collusion of the government in ensuring that farmers are deprived and industry benefits?
Hello. Hello.
Mr. Tapse, we'll try and get back to you in just a bit. Well, we don't know whether Mr. Tapse really can't hear us or whether he's choosing not to answer that question. But we'll anyway keep trying and get back to him, get a better line, get him to answer those questions. Anjali Damania, there is a clear case of impropriety over here. But isn't it now upon the responsibility upon the Chief Minister, Prithviraj Chavan, if he knows that all these things are going on, to, and the lid has been blown off them, to crack down a white paper? The whitewash of a white paper is not enough. What about these facts?
No, the first point is Mr. Prithviraj Chavan should now take some very stern measures, because he is answerable to the state and we have hope only from that one guy now. So we definitely want Mr. Prithviraj Chavan to ensure that Mr. Ajit Pawar has shown the door. Now coming to one important point which we all are again missing, is that Ajit Pawar for the last 2 days has been harping on one point, that the water since 2002 to 2011 was to be given first for drinking and second for industries. So hello Mr. Pawar, where is the water for drinking? You have siphoned it off. You have been saying over and over again that the water policy said that the water should go for industries. That was his point number 2. So where does the point number 1 come? I mean, doesn't the water have to first go to industries? I mean, first go for drinking? It has to be first released for drinking, and only after drinking is served should it go for industries. Each one of them said that the water policy of Maharashtra right from 2002 to 2011 said that water to industry should be given a priority. Now my question is livelihood more important or life itself is more important? When people are dying without water, doesn't it become the first responsibility of the guardian minister, the irrigation minister and the chief minister, that water has to be given for the life itself?
Important point, and that's something that the NCP has to answer. In fact, the entire party, not surprisingly, is ganging up behind Ajit Pawar. Sharad Pawar refused to reply to questions on Ajit Pawar. He, in fact, ran away from Headlines Today's cameras when we asked him some very direct questions. Listen in.
I don't want to talk to anybody. I have not given time to you. If I give time, then yes, you got every right. So I got my commitment.
Do you have any comments to make on the remarks?
In fact, my colleague Kamlesh Sutar tried to speak to both Ajit Pawar as well as his daughter Supriya Sule. Sahil, isn't there any sort of fear in any of these NCP leaders that when they go back their constituents, the truth is out there. No one is a fool. Everyone knows how they have been deprived of water and the drought is man-made. Won't they have to answer their constituents when the time comes? Isn't that the fear in the NCP?
See, first of all, Mr. Sharad Pawar has already clarified that he is not going to contest the Lok Sabha election in coming 2014. So, Madha constituency will be represented by Sharad Pawar again is first question after all. The secondly, they have definitely taken care of their own constituency, which comes into the Pune district, that is Baramati, and one of the allegation is that is the one of the reason why the water was not released from the Ujni dam. Thirdly, Prithviraj Chavan is unable to take any action against Ajit Pawar because it's a coalition government and he cannot force Ajit Pawar to go out of it. But one thing what Prithviraj Chavan did manage to do is that after 2003, the priority list of the water distribution, as Anjali was mentioning, that the first priority was to the drinking water, the second priority was to the industries, and the third priority was to the farmers for the irrigation purposes. After 2011, this priority list was changed, and what Prithviraj Chavan managed to do is that the first priority is to the drinking water and the second priority came to the irrigation sector. So at least he tried to do that, but at this point of time, it doesn't look like that he has any hold over what NCP is doing. Maximum he can do is to talk about the white paper, which he has already brought, but which was actually of no help because Ajit Pawar is back into the cabinet and his deputy into the cabinet.
But even when the water is given for agriculture, loopholes are found, like what happened in the Sina Canal. The power was disconnected for farmers, so the industries lapped up all the water that went down that canal. For now, we're completely out of time. Thank you very much, Anjali Damania, Pankaj Khelkar, Sahil Joshi and Javed Ansari for joining us on that story.